Okay, welcome back to Teal House Farm. It is time to pick some onions and garlic, and we'll show you how we cure them and store them for use in fall and winter. I always get comments on my hats and my hat on these videos. This farm hat has been sat on, stepped on, thrown around by the kids. It's a mess, but it keeps the sun off my face. And actually, a very kind viewer sent me a beautiful hat. I'll show it to you. But I like it so much, I'm actually using it as a out of the house day hat on really sunny days, and I don't want to get it destroyed here digging in the dirt. So we're going to put it back inside before we get back to work. But thank you to Becky for the beautiful hat. It looks real nice with the sundress. We're going to keep it nice and keep it away from the kids so they can't destroy it like they have with this hat. But anyway, it is the end of June, which in our area means it's about time to pull up those onions and that garlic. I winter slash real early spring plant garlic. I do not plant it in the fall, so if you want really big bulbs, from what I understand, you got to plant it in the fall, and I've never gotten around to that. I plant it really early spring, and I still get good garlic even though it's not huge. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get everything out of the ground and get it ready to go for long-term storage. First step is a quick trip into the barn. We need to find a plant. I don't even know what this thing is. It's a rack, and it's got nice kind of sieve material, mesh material on the bottom, and this is great for drying things on because they get airflow on the top and the bottom. I head over to the raised beds. We're going to finish picking these snap peas real quick because these plants are starting to die because it's getting super hot during the day. So we're going to just empty them out, and we'll have these with dinner tonight, and then those plants will be all done for this season. We still have a bunch in here. I still have carrots. Those are almost ready, and we'll get ready to pick those soon. And then next to those, I have a couple potato plants squished in here, which still have a while to go. And then around the corner, kind of hiding under these potatoes, are the garlic. I didn't plant very much. I think I planted 15 bulbs. But they did great in here, and we can tell they're ready because the outer leaves are nice and browned, and so are the tips of the plant. So first I kind of think I can wiggle it out, but the bed's just too dry. I don't want to muddy the bed, so I was trying not to have to water it before picking, but I'm just going to give it a quick spray from the watering can, being really careful not to overwater and create a lot of mud. And then we should be able to wiggle the garlic out pretty easily. And yeah, look how much easier that is. Like I said, because this is spring garlic, you're not going to get huge bulbs. But we have some nice garlic, and it smells great, and this will be great for cooking and enjoying. This year I might actually go ahead and plant in the fall so that we have true large bulbed garlic by the time we get to the spring. Just every year I think I'm going to do it, and something comes up and I miss the planting opportunity, and then it just waits to the spring and we do spring garlic. We found a rogue radish that I had missed when I picked radish, so we got that tiny little radish in there, and we're going to lay out all the garlic. Next, we head on over to the second raised bed where I planted the onions. I planted both purple and yellow varieties, and they did great for me. I planted these from the dried out bulbs you can just buy at the garden store or at Walmart, and they really grew nicely. Now, you can eat onion tops. One of the downsides of braiding onions is that you lose the ability to really eat most of the top because you need the tops to braid them. Some years I just cut the tops off and use them, and some years I braid them, and this year I'm going to braid them. So we're going to pull out all of our snap peas to make room for our garlic and onions on that rack, and I go ahead and find a cookie sheet and a cookie drying cooling rack so that we can fit more onions somewhere else, and it looks like I'm still going to need a third one. So we just put that cookie rack out because I don't have any more cookie sheets, and we're going to lay all these out, and we're just going to let them sit. We have 3 drying racks here, and we're gonna leave them like this for just a couple of days, and then I will braid them. Some people braid them immediately, and I've done that before. The issue that I get is what I call slippage, whereas the green tops shrink because they dehydrate and dry. The braid kind of falls apart, and then it gets a big tingly mess. And so I wait a day or two. It won't be completely brown, but they'll have shrunk, and then I can do a nice braid. And when there's more shrinkage, the the bulbs don't all slip out. There are a lot of different ways to preserve onions. Again, some people cure them and then cut the tops completely off. I prefer to hang them because for me, the easiest way to store in this house where I don't have a lot of storage is to hang them off of hooks. And the hooks are right here in the kitchen. Right now they got some coats and stuff on them, but those will move and that'll be my garlic and my onion storage until we use these all up. So we're going to hit the pause button here. I'm going to leave them just like this for a couple of days. I will come through a couple of times and just rotate them to make sure that where they are a little bit touching, that all the moisture gets out. And then after a couple of days, we'll come back and join you again and braid them together. One other thing I do want to mention is know your climate. So where we are, it's very hot and humid right now, which is why I'm not doing this outside. Yeah, bud, love you. Yeah, we're gonna have dinner in a minute. Yeah, so some things that you'll read will tell you to put them in a shady spot outside, and that's just not going to work for us here. It is way too humid. They will just rot. So for us, the best option is to bring them inside. They're near the air conditioner. It won't be humid and hot in here. Okay, everybody wants dinner. I'm going to make dinner. We're going to see you in a couple days. It has been probably like 4 or 5 days. Got kind of busy and haven't gotten around to this, but that's okay because we're going to do it now. And so I'll show you our onions. This is the first pallet of onions and garlic. So you can see they have dried out considerably. Something I forgot to mention before is we do not want to wash. Don't wash anything. You can knock off extra dirt just with your hand if you want to, but don't wash these.
Which one's the onions? Which one's one?
We'll show them. If you wash them, they won't last as long. They'll be susceptible to mold and things like that. So hang them a little bit dirty, and when you're ready to use them, it's when you can wash them or peel off layers or however you want to do it. So, but Isla here is going to be my designated scissor cutter of our string, and we're going to braid some onions. Now, some people do this without any string at all. I like the security of a extra, like, holder on for my garlic and onions because sometimes the braids slip, and so this is just like extra protection to make sure that they stay. But this is pretty simple. We're just gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna start with our garlic because it's right in front of me, and then we'll do our onions. The key here is not to do so much. These are so heavy that they fall apart when you hang them. So I'll kind of show you what's going on. It's a little bit like French braiding, but easier than working with people's hair because onions don't tell you ow.
Love you!
All right, we'll start with the garlic. We're just gonna kind of lay it on the table here and do a little bit at a time, and we just braid it like you braid hair. And just like with French braiding, you kind of add pieces in as you go up. And then I'm securing, like I said, with a string just for an extra measure of, I guess, caution against them falling apart, though the braid usually holds pretty well. It's not beautiful, but it does the job. The onions are a little bit trickier because those greens are still pretty thick, but we get them put in there, do several layers, and then we will secure with a tie again as well. I just hang them over here on the side of the wood stove, and they'll just sit here until they're all used up. I have these coat hooks that we move the coats over, and it leaves room for the onions and the garlic. Okay, that's what we've got. Again, this isn't lovely. There are some people that do absolutely beautiful braids, and it's gorgeous, and hang them from rafters and it looks great. Around here, it's about practical. This works. We've got the tops are braided and they're secured with the string, so they're gonna stay. When I want onion, if you just kind of give it a yank, it'll come on out. I have kept garlic and onions like this for close to a year. As far as how long they last, it is important that you come through and check to make sure that nothing is rotting. Every once in a while you'll get an onion that was damaged and you didn't realize it when you picked it, and then it'll start to rot there, and then that can kind of be contagious amongst your other onions. So you just come over and give the bulbs a little squeeze once a week or so and just see if anybody is soft, and if you find one that's not perfect, just pull it out so it doesn't infect your other onions and garlic. But these should last you clear till the spring when it's ready to plant or pick some more. And it's a great way to store onions. Obviously, this isn't a ton of onions. I'm going to use these up. You know, it's going to take more than it's going to take less than a year to use that up. But still, it's a great way to preserve them that doesn't take any energy as far as running in your canner or chopping things or anything like that. You can just put them like this. There are ways to store them too without the tops. If you're really limited on space or don't want to hang them, you can cure them and chop the tops off and keep them in a cool, dark place, a lot like you would onions that you buy from the grocery store. So you don't have to keep the tops to keep your onions all winter. But for us, this is the easiest way to do them. Just don't have floor storage space in our pantry, and I can't store things in our basement, so this works best for us. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys all really soon.